just looking at caffeine and its effects on exercise taken afterwards today. So a few years ago, I did an Ashtanga yoga class in London, and it was a fantastic class, really vigorous, made you sweat, really got your joints moving, your muscles moving. It was fantastic. But really astonished when the yoga teacher announced at the beginning of the session that she'd had a huge filter coffee before she came in. Actually, it might have been two. And then she was going off for another one after the class that she'd taught us. And knowing how hydrated it's ideal to stay during exercise, because we lose about a pint of water for every hour of exercise, I was really amazed that someone in her profession was going off to just dehydrate themselves a bit more. And just looking at the effects of caffeine and blood pressure, which I mentioned yesterday, so if you'd like to have a listen to that, please do. But caffeine not only causes a temporary raised blood pressure, but it begins to cause a vascular resistance, so a constriction in the blood vessels generally. Now that can have quite long-term effects on your physiology, because certainly it reduces circulation in certain areas of your brain. And in particular, whilst it doesn't have an effect on the fight and flight area, the primitive part of your brain, it does have quite a strong effect on long-term memory and learning, two things which are rather useful, of course. So what happens to your physiology during exercise if you've drunk caffeine? This is something to consider if you are wanting to take exercise, but you're worried about your blood pressure. And if you are worried about blood pressure, please do get in contact, because it's something I work with people to decrease naturally. So your circulation increases during exercise, and all of your hard-working muscles need more fuel, they need more oxygen. But under conditions of vascular resistance, which I've already mentioned, caffeine can contribute to, where you've got that constriction of the blood vessels and your blood pressure is elevating higher. Of course, when you're not resting and you're exercising, your blood pressure is elevating higher still. And what they found in a study that the American Journal of Cardiology did with a group of young men is that caffeine before exercise gave dangerous elevations in blood pressure in 45% of them. And of course, the other study that they did found that if there is a risk of hypertension already, if somebody's already at risk of high blood pressure, that's far more dangerous. So, as I mentioned, if blood pressure is something you'd like to have a look at in the new year and handle in a different way, please get in touch.